Hello, welcome to Blessed Plants. I am Sarah and have an exciting announcement for you today. I'll get to that in a minute. But first, thank you so much for being here and watching our videos. On Blessed Plants, we honor Jesus Christ. We honor all of his creations and in the many forms of life that he has created life. But on this channel, the form of life that we focus on the most is vegetation. We honor plants, we pray over them, we grow plants from seed, we rescue plants that have been discarded or neglected, we propagate plants from clippings, we germinate plants from seeds, I rescue plants that have been thrown out in the street, I rescue plants that are food that's been discarded in the street, I bring the food home, remove the seeds, and try to grow plants from it. I did that the other day with pineapples, by the way. There were two, it was so cute. There were two like pineapples that had been thrown away on the street. I was walking home and I got them and hopefully going to germinate them. Well, anyways, so I wanted to just fill you in on my real estate journey. If you've been following me for a while, you know that, I would say for over a year now, I've been trying to buy real estate in, I live in New York City. And so I was looking in upstate New York and I was just really having a hard time of it. As you know, the housing market is overpriced. And I ended up over the summer going and looking at a few places. One of them I really fell in love with. It was this beautiful property with all this lavender in the back. And it was just like, we had gone to see it in the middle of the summer and there was this lavender smell that was just wafting over the whole property. And it was heavenly when we walked in. It was some kind of a sanctuary, I believe, for birds. There were all these bird houses everywhere and I just loved it, but it was overpriced and it needed a lot of construction. And it was just, I didn't feel good about making the offer. So I kind of made a low offer and then I got outbid on it. And it kind of like, to be honest with you, it kind of hurt me. Like, I just remember being like, oh, like, did I make the wrong decision? Should I maybe have bid higher? But I was patient because we're not really looking to hightail it out of New York City. I have 4 children. They're all under 12 years old and they're all in either middle school or elementary school. They like their friends. They like their school. We're happy with New York City. And so it's not like I'm like, oh, I gotta just, right. I mean, it's not like that. I just was really looking for the right deal and I just couldn't find it because like I said, housing market is overpriced. It's hard to buy a farm. It's hard to buy a farm long distance when, I mean, first of all, I'm a first-time home buyer. I've never even owned my own apartment. I've lived in New York City for 26 years, was like downsized after Lehman, started my business, got my business up and running. And while that was happening, I was having all these kids. And so it was never like, a real priority to be buying real estate. And then now that's all kind of settled and glory be to God, we've been, able to entertain this. So anyways, back to the story, never could really find the right deal. And I just got kind of discouraged and I was like, like I felt like I was called and I still do feel like I'm called to honor nature and to take care of animals and take care of plants and protect them and to be responsible in some way for this in my own property. And I do think I am, but I just was feeling like these real estate deals I was looking at, like I felt like it was a bridge too far. Okay. So I took a little time off from like looking around and then I was looking on the internet a few months ago and I see this beautiful property and it was this like stand of trees and they were just beautiful trees. And it was vacant land basically. It wasn't even a farm. It didn't have a greenhouse on it or like no irrigation system, no septic, no electric, nothing, just like this beautiful kind of plot of trees. And I was like, wow, like I should just go see that. And so I go and see it and I went and contacted the realtor and saw it and everything. And I put an offer down and the realtor actually was like, that property across the street is the same owner and it's about the same price range and just want to go look at the view. And I saw that and that was even better. And so, being a first time buyer though, I was kind of like, I don't know about this. I just had always, every time I put down an offer on like a farm or a farmhouse or whatever, we were always in like these intense price wars. And then there were like other people that outbid us, and the sellers were always like wicked, kind of jerky about it. Excuse me, Lord. Like we're very, very difficult with me over it. And I just was like I didn't really think it was going to work. I did not believe in my mind that I was ever going to be able to make an offer and actually own property. And so I kind of was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, let me just see about this this tree property first, and then we'll deal with whatever that other property. And not even thinking that the first one was going to go through. So I told the realtor the offer price, and he went to the seller, and believe it or not, the offer went through. Like no counter offer, which is, I think, pretty much unheard of. Like, even for vacant land, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, wait a minute, you're not gonna like try to fight me to the T for like down to the last cent? Like, you're just gonna say yes? Like, don't you want to do a counter offer? Right. Anyways, so, and I felt great, I really felt good about it. And then so it felt so good about it, in fact, that I went to sleep, and then the realtor's like, okay, well, just let me talk to the seller and we'll get the paperwork together for you. And I had this lawyer from one of these other deals that didn't work out. And I had contacted a lawyer from those deals. And so I told my lawyer and everything, like, we're going to be moving forward. And, I'm going to be giving your contact information to this realtor. He's going to contact you. We're going to go on contract. And I went to bed that night, and I remember waking up in the morning and just feeling like this feeling in my heart, like, I want to go get the other property too. So I contact the realtor again, and I'm like, would you be open to an offer on that other one? And he said yes. And so I put an offer down, and the seller actually came back this time and did counter offer, which kind of surprised me, because I was like, like, you were so good on the first one. I think I maybe kind of lowballed the second one a little bit, like maybe went a little bit lower, I think, than I went on the first one. Because it was a little bit bigger. It was just a little bit of a higher price because it was more acreage. And so I maybe like just dipped a little too far down for them. And so they came back and made a counter offer, and then I accepted it. And then we decided to move forward into contract phase on the second property. And the way that it worked after that was I just put down my earnest money deposits, and they were great about that. It wasn't a huge amount of money that I put down. I think it was like pretty low compared to what most earnest money deposits are. But it was, like I said, just so far, it's really been a pleasure working with this seller. I really like them. I wonder, am I ever going to get to meet them? I think it would be so cool. They seem really cool. They've been cool so far. I'm in luck. Famous last words, right? My deal isn't even closed yet, so I may live to regret like ever saying that. But what happened next was that we signed the contract, and then actually, no, we signed the contract, and then I put down the earnest money deposit. And I remember being very clear about that in my mind. Like, I just wasn't gonna send somebody money, or like put down my earnest money deposit until the contract was in place, until it was all official. And so it was a little slow going. I remember it took a little longer than I thought. But like I said, I'm not in any rush to do anything. And if it wasn't going to be like all lined up, I wasn't going to send $1 of my money over there. Okay. So, sign the contract, put the earnest money down, and then it's just been a wait where my lawyer has been negotiating with them a little bit. He's been researching on the title. They had to do a survey of the land, and it's been about a month. My deal was technically supposed to close last week, but like I said, I don't think anybody's really in a rush here. This is a very relaxed kind of a deal that we have going on. So I think the transaction should probably be closing any day now. I'm technically under contract on these two properties in upstate New York. And so you might say, well, if you're not going to move there, what are you owning this vacant land for? I'm owning this vacant land as an investment. I'm also owning it because I think at some point I would like to put some kind of a sanctuary or a pollinator garden there, pollinator sanctuary. I'd like to protect the animals that live there, especially the bees. From what I understand, the bee population is dying out, and I don't want to be a part of that trend. I want to protect the bees and the natural species and the animals that live there, fireflies, lightning bugs, birds, bees, butterflies, all the pollinators, really important to our natural ecosystem. But I'm not in any rush to do that either. I am looking at probably just holding the land for a little bit, but it's not to say that we won't be having experiences with the land. I would like to go up there and get to know the land. I mean, I was doing this in January, so there's not really a great deal of clarity about the vegetation that's actually on the land. And, it is several acres, and so there's certainly going to be a lot to look at, but from what I gather, I think there's, in the spring and summer, a lot of goldenrod there, which is wonderful for pollinators. But I am looking forward to just going up there and spending time on the land, acquainting myself with the natural species that are there, the birds and bees, animals, all of the vegetation. And I'll be taking you along with me. You'll be coming and looking at these blessed plants that are going to be there. I mean, all of this is very presumptuous. My transactions are not even closed yet, but we'll see. We'll see if I wind up actually closing the deal or not. I hope so. There's so far been no indication. Oh yeah, I mean, the other thing is I just was like paying cash for it because I had saved up my money and did not want to deal with the bank. It made the transaction a lot simpler because I'm not having a loan for this. It's not like, as expensive as it would be if I were buying a house, vacant land. And also this land is in the middle of nowhere. It's not accessible via a major New York highway. It's all kind of like these, like smaller kind of back roads. And so the property taxes are very low. The land is very cheap. And thanks be to God, I don't have to use the bank, which it's always better if you don't have to deal with the bank, right? So that was another thing that I think has simplified the deal a lot. I don't see any reason that the deal wouldn't close, but stranger things have happened and we'll see. I really hope that it does, because although I'm trying not to think about it, I am getting a little bit excited about this, seeing that we're in the final stages of me owning my first real estate property ever. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. Anyways, comment below. What do you think of all this? Are you vacant land owners? Does anybody own vacant land? Do you own land in New York? Are you farmers? Have you ever bought a piece of property? Are you a first-time buyer like me? Let me know. Or what do you think of this channel? It'd be great. Just comment and say hello. It'd be great to meet you. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and God bless all of you and your families. Bye. I'll see you in the next video.